Hello, everyone. It's MJ. How are you? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to another episode of Support Small BookTube Saturday. Let me know who all is here in the comments. Be great to see you. So I have Greg from Another Bibliophile Reads backstage. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you? It's good to see you. Greg is backstage. We're going to bring him out in a minute. I just wanted to say hello and see who's all here and do a meet and greet. Hey, Alan, thanks for waking up early or staying up late, whatever it is. So we're going to do a Q&A with Alan, and then we're going to open it up to everyone in the audience, just like I've done in the past. And then for everyone that's watching us on the replay, we're sorry you couldn't be here with us, but we hope you enjoy the show. Thanks, Elizabeth. I appreciate it. Hey, Coda. Hello. Hello. Hi, William. All right. Great to see everyone. So I'm going to bring Greg in now. We had some technical issues earlier, but hopefully we'll be good.
Hello.
Hi, Greg. How are you?
I'm doing really good. And yourself?
It's so great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on the show with me. I'm excited to grill you about it. I'm excited to grill you about your BookTube experience. All right. We've got a few people here. So we're just gonna get started. So Greg, tell us a little bit about the history of your channel, how it came about, what made you jump into BookTube. Give us a little background.
Okay. Back when I was living in Washington, I was listening to a podcast. It was called 2 Month Review. And it's basically they read a book over 2 months. And they're reading the book J.R. by William Gaddis. And if you see my channel, I've mentioned I love that book. So after finishing that podcast, I wanted more information. So I started Googling about J.R. and I came across this channel, Leaf by Leaf. And he did an in-depth review of books. I said, well, that's kind of neat. And I watched some of his old videos and I said, oh, there's this other channels doing books. And I just sort of got hooked after that. And I said, you know, I could try that. And at the time, I was getting ready to move out of Washington. We had bought a plot of land in Virginia and we're having a house built. And I had my whole huge library in Washington. I said, well, you know, let's take a picture of what my library looks like now. So then when I move, I could have a picture what it looks like afterwards. So that was my purpose of the channel. It just sort of recorded my library looked like. But I got into talking about books and then started meeting people. That's probably another question, but that's how I got started.
That's awesome. I love that. So let me ask you a question off of our scheduled questions. How did you transport all of your books from point A to point B, from West Coast to East Coast?
I had to buy a whole lot of boxes. I had 54 boxes of books.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot.
And what we did is we hired basically a trailer, one of those big trailers, and they just dropped off the trailer and you had to pack it yourself and then they would move it to your new location. So I had to pack up all my books.
Oh my gosh.
Take them from the upstairs into the garage. And for about a month, our 3-car garage was a 1-car garage because couldn't fit anything else in there.
Yeah.
So then they packed up the trailer and it took almost a third of the trailer to fill up with all my books. So it's not a cheap solution to move all those books because we had to leave furniture behind that wouldn't fit after the truck was completely full.
Oh my gosh. That's a whole video series in and of itself.
You know, I probably should have recorded more of it, but I was very new and I had a day job at the time and moving and pets. And I said, I don't have time to record all that with all the dealings of moving from coast to coast.
That's amazing. Well, we're glad you're on the East Coast. I'm glad you're on the East Coast. So let's find out about, so when you started, started developing your channel and it started growing, did you have like a vision or a goal?
No, not really.
No.
I just said, I just want to record what my library looks like in both places.
Awesome.
And after I did that, I just continued on because by that time I was invested.
Yeah. So after being on BookTube for a little bit, do you have any type of visions or goals now as to how you want to continue with your channel?
Not yet. I kind of see where I want to take it,
Mhm.
what I can do with it. I'm doing okay, but it's the one of the issues with my channel is like I don't have. I think this is another question, but I really don't have any solid grounding in something.
Mhm.
Some people have channels that are very focused, like Criminale has books, crime, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Michael K. Vaughan has his older paperbacks, but I don't have that.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
And it's hard because I jump all over the place.
But I like
Sometimes
that.
I read literary fiction, and people like literary fiction say, "Oh, that's cool." You go,
Mhm.
wait a second, why is this guy reading Night of the Crabs now?
Why not?
So, and people who like Night of the Crabs are going, why is he reading this William Gaddis fella?
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to herd them
Mhm.
all together and have people understand that you kind of never know what you're going to get.
Yeah. And I think for, because our channels aren't similar, but with regards to like what we read, it's a little similar
Yeah,
because I hop over the place too. And I think there's a special niche for us that we just like to read a little bit of everything.
absolutely.
Yeah. And I think our audience appreciates that too. I know I do when I watch channels. Okay, so when you first started your channel, what did you find were your biggest barriers, your biggest obstacles to overcome?
Um, the first thing I was overcoming is just like recording the video.
Mhm.
How do you record a video? I first started on my laptop, just sitting at my desk, but the angle was really kind of not so great, and
Mhm.
you move around your laptop to different places, and then I figured out, well, I could do this on my phone, and almost all my videos are recorded on my phone now.
Mhm.
There's a couple rare occasions when I switch out of that. And then there were problems like, okay, I just said something really stupid and I don't want that in the video. Basically, okay, start over.
Mhm.
Um, and I still sort of follow that for the most part. I don't, I do, I have purchased editing software, but I don't go in and record many versions of what I want to say, then pick the best version and edit it all together. I know a
Mhm.
lot of people do that, and
Right.
it can make them look really smart because sometimes you say something that's not so bright and said, well, I said something a lot smarter down the road and just use that one. But
Mhm.
those are the things I get over, and I kind of want to go there, but I don't want to spend all the time
Yeah.
editing.
Right.
I remember someone talking about they're making a 17-minute video, and they said they spent 10 hours editing it.
Mhm. I believe it.
I absolutely believe it. It
Mhm.
shows because they're working hard to get it perfected. And
Yeah.
I kind of say, well, if you're sitting down at a pub with your friends and talking about books, you don't get the edit feature.
Mhm.
And I said, so I'm sort of torn. Like, I kind of want that raw, live, you see what you get or get what you see, and or the more edited version. So I might play around with both versions a bit and see where it leads me.
Yeah. I mean, it could be a new adventure too. I like tinkering with editing a little bit, but I don't have a lot of time for that. I don't have 10 hours to do a 17-minute video, that's for sure. So, following up on our last question, what do you have any obstacles or barriers now as you're continuing on with your channel?
I don't think there's any real obstacles or barriers. I
Mhm.
mean, I have the equipment that I need. It's just how much time do I really want to invest
Mhm.
in doing a lot of videos or perfecting them. I know some people do videos every day,
Mm-hmm.
which is impressive. And I've had days when I'm sitting on my sun deck, I'm reading a book, I have a cat with me, and I say, I really should be recording a video right now, but I'm looking at a sleeping cat and go, nah, I'll just read my book out here.
Yeah.
And I'll record the next day, and
Mm-hmm.
the next day I have something else to do, so a lot of ideas just get shelved.
Yeah.
And I said, I really should get back to some of these ideas because I think they're really good ones.
Yeah. Do you write down your ideas?
Nope.
No?
Nope. I
Okay.
just let my old brain forget about it if it wants to forget about it.
I'm always telling my phone to make a memo if I'm in the car, and I think of it. That's when I have my most ideas, is when I'm driving in traffic, and I'll tell the car, open up a memo and write this down, and then I have like a whole list of all these weird messages in my phone for different ideas. It's crazy.
That's a really good place for ideas. And
Yeah.
I do have a memo app that
Mm-hmm.
I have on my phone that I can write down memos.
Yeah. Or just keep a pad and paper next to you where you read too.
I could do that too.
Write in your scribe.
I could write in my scribe.
Have a new memo. Have a new folder for BookTube ideas. I use my scribe all the time for BookTube.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Scribe tribe.
I brought it with me just in case it came up,
Nice. Okay, so what about let's talk about learning and gleaning from others, right? Because the community aspect of what we do is huge. So when you first started out, what's like one of the best pieces of advice that you ever received? Do you remember?
I think just about everyone answers this question in the same way.
Mhm.
Just be yourself.
Yeah.
I cannot be some other booktuber's style. They're
Mhm.
going to have the same. Sometimes I imitate them just a little, but that's more like poking fun at them a little. It's like, oh, I'm
Mhm.
going to try to put on like do the face like Michael K. Vaughan does, and not really that well, but
Mhm.
you try that. But no, it's just be who you want to be,
Yeah.
read what you want to read.
Mhm.
And I think that's also important is don't try to read books to impress people to watch your videos.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
Because I've seen some some people, I think, read books to get attention. Maybe that's
Mhm.
not fair. Maybe they are honest, but it's like they just pick books that they think will be popular. And in some cases, that's fine. Like some people do read popular books for the most
Mhm.
part. So that's fine too.
Yeah. Okay. Um, what little tips or advice? I don't know who all, I see a lot of our friends in the chat. I don't know who all is like a newer booktuber that may be watching, but for someone that is just starting out, what piece of advice would you give them aside from being yourself?
Something, it's the only thing, just bite the bullet, pull out your phone or pull out your camera
Mhm.
and just pick up a book you want to talk about and just talk about it.
Yeah.
And you're going to say, I sound really stupid. I look really stupid. No one's going to like it.
Mhm.
Just upload it.
Yeah.
Your first few videos are going to be a little raw, a little rough,
Cringy.
cringy. Sometimes you improve. Sometimes you still look cringy after 2 years, but just bite the bullet and do it. And one of the things I'll say is don't regret it. I've
Mhm.
seen some booktubers come and go and they delete old videos. And, we all make things that we don't look our best or say our best, but that's
Yeah.
a whole part of the process. As I said,
Mhm.
if you were at a pub eating chicken wings and drinking beer and talking, sometimes you'll say things that aren't great, but you're still part of the community, and that's part of it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that rolls us into our next question. Tell us about what the community means to you, what the community aspect of BookTube is.
It's really good. When I first started, everyone's talking about buddy reads. It's like, how do I join a buddy? I want to read with you people.
Mhm.
And you sort of like drop hints in the comments. And sooner or later you're going to get invited to an event and say, yeah, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll just happen. And it's really good. I have people who are friends that, you never meet because you're in vastly different parts of the world, but
Right.
they are your friends on the internet, and you talk about books, and sometimes you have Voxer accounts or emails, and you find yourself just emailing them back and forth, and you're not really talking about books. You're just chatting with friends
Mm-hmm.
on the other side of the country.
Right.
And it's good to know they're there.
Yeah, I totally agree. Do you want to touch on the 100-book challenge that you recently completed?
Yes. There's a history to this. Not this year, but the year before, Ollie came out, and he's a brand new channel. And he confessed that he started his channel as a bet with his son. And to atone for that, he was going to read 100 books that he already owned before buying another book.
Mm-hmm.
And then I believe it was Juan by Plagued by Visions came out and says, I'm going to do this challenge too.
Oh, did Juan do it too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then someone else, like I think it was Michael K. Vaughan,
Mm-hmm.
he did it. Another person came out and did it. And I was telling my wife, there's these idiots doing this 100 book challenge. They're not going to buy another book before they read another one. And my wife looked at me and says, you've got a lot of books. You should do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I made a video going, I'm a fool. I told my wife about this, and now I'm on a 100-book challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But it really is invigorating, especially if you are like me and have a lot of books
Mm-hmm.
that you've collected over the years, and they're just sitting on your shelf. And you say, I'm going to get to it someday,
Mm-hmm.
but that day never comes. But now when you join this 100-book challenge, you're kind of forced to say, well, this book that I bought 10 years ago, let's just pick it up and read it.
Mm-hmm.
And I find that, it's very invigorating. It teaches you, it's like, okay, I'm still interested in these books and I have them all. And then he said, wow, I read 100 books that I own. Now, I have a couple rules that I added, like my audiobooks.
Mm-hmm.
I buy my audiobooks every October. I buy a package of 24. So I said, well, I'm just going to include those because I own those.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sort of getting other books to coming in under that way, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty acceptable exception, because if I don't use those credits, they just disappear at the end of the year, and I just wasted my money. So
Yeah. Oh, they don't stack your credits at Audible?
you have 1 year to use your credits.
Oh, wow. So they don't like carry over.
No, they used to carry over.
Yeah.
But a couple years ago, they changed their rules.
Wow.
Probably someone in accounting says, if you just eliminate these credits that are on the books that are people who have bought them but are not active,
Mm-hmm.
we can claim that as profit or whatever, and accounting people.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Issues. So you do have to use them.
Yeah. That's just bizarre. Okay. So so congrats. Are you doing the 500 or no?
I am on the 500 book
Okay.
challenge. That was Michael K. Vaughan. He's going to do 500 books,
Mm-hmm.
and I sort of got egged into doing that as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I'm doing that. I'm not putting a whole lot of exceptions in, and the thing is, I know I'm not going to get to 500 books before buying another book. That's just
Yeah. That's harsh.
I did the 100-book challenge in 20 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Pushing hard,
Mm-hmm.
choosing short books for the most part.
Yeah.
And the thing is, not all the books I want to read are short.
Correct.
So I'm sort of putting those off for later. And now I'm saying, well, I'm just going to go with this challenge, see how long it can go.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talk about my exception. I call festival nights.
Yeah.
The whole idea that these festival nights where you can just do whatever you want to do, and you're not held accountable the next day.
Right.
So I said, well, if I go on travel, I'll just call it a festival night and go to the Strand and buy a whole bunch of books and not count. But that's really kind of cheating, So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to see how far I can get with the 100-book challenge.
Okay.
I've done pretty good.
You've done excellent. I'm only on 30. You're doing excellent.
Yeah. And I did go to a used bookstore on Wednesday because I was looking to buy books for someone. They just happened to have a buy two, get two free sale going on.
Oh, wow.
So I found the book that I wanted to send to someone, but I also found another book that I thought he would like. So I just sort of included that one. Well, I bought someone 2 books. Now I have to get free books for myself.
Because technically they're free.
They're free. I've always said free books don't count against you.
Absolutely. Love that. That's awesome. So what have you finished reading lately?
Actually, I have not been reading a lot. I finished my 100-book challenge and I sort of like, wow, I don't have to read books anymore.
The pressure's off.
Pressure's off. So I had a slow reading week. Started a couple books that I don't even want to call them DNFs because you just start reading them. You get through 2 chapters and go, no.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I just don't want to read it.
Yeah, just not in the mood.
Had a couple books like that. So I've been working on just a couple of ones I've been reading this week. Haven't only finished 1 book last week.
Okay. And you and Alan, you're going to be on tonight, right?
Yes,
is it tonight. Okay.
We're
doing. You want to talk about your lives?
No, we're talking about the Recognitions by William Gaddis. It was our mammoth buddy read for March. So I expect maybe 1 or 2 people to come in and be totally bewildered about this book, and
you never know.
But it'll be a record for anyone who has read the Recognitions and wants a little bit of information more of what it's like to read it. It'll be there more for posterity than as a live.
Right. Absolutely. No, I think that's great. And then you guys are still going live on Monday nights, right?
Yes, we are.
Okay. Who do you have coming up this week, Flossie?
Flo from the Grape Jelly Library coming up.
Nice. So that series is going really well. And I'll tell you what, it's Monday. My husband knows. He's like, oh, you're hanging out with your buddies tonight? And I said, yeah, I'm hanging out with my buddies tonight. He'll be there watching sports or whatever. I got my cup of tea and I'm watching y'all like real low, got my earbuds in and everything. I'm just typing along.
That's cool.
It's fun. You're like appointment viewing at this point in my life.
Cool. I mean, we get about 10 or 15 regular viewers.
Yeah.
We're trying to bump it up. I know Mark and Sean had about 30. So there's room to gain some more.
Absolutely. I think it's a lot of fun. And if anybody in the chat hasn't checked it out, check out their lives on Monday night and check them out tonight too regarding the Recognitions. And if you want to learn about the Recognitions or William Gaddis. Yeah,
I understand it's a very niche audience. So
yeah, that's okay.
I'm not offended if Gaddis is not for you because 9 out of 10 people, he's not going to be for them.
Yeah. Well, you don't know unless you try, right?
That is true. But I'm going to make one suggestion is do try to read online or in the library before you buy the book. Because we were going to have a third person who was in UK, couldn't afford it. And I basically bought him a UK version and sent it, got it. And he read the first page. I'm sorry, I can't read this.
After the first page?
First couple pages. I think he tried a couple pages and then went to the middle of the book and says, no, I just can't deal with his style.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor and check it out first. It's not a cheap book. In paperback, it's $29. So
wow. That's crazy.
It is crazy. So do yourself a favor if you want to try it.
Yeah.
Try it online or in the library first.
Definitely. All right. Let's see. So let's check out the chat. We're going to turn it over to everyone in the audience. If anybody has a question that you want to ask myself,
I'm
or
on my
Greg.
phone, so I cannot see the chat. I can only see.
Okay.
I can choose to see the chat or see you.
Okay. Well, I will pull up, check in to see who's here. So Elizabeth was here. She said hello. Alan is here, of course. Christopher Evenstar is here. Coda is here. William's here. Duncan McCurdy's here. Let's see. KD Books. KD Books is going to be on in May with me. I think we narrowed down a time. Yeah. Alan says the West is the best, but the East is the beast, Alan. Let's see. Books at Midnight stopped in, joining in for a bit. Duncan commented, it's important for booktubers to have dabblers. So I guess we're dabblers, where we like to go through different types of books in the eccentric literature.
Is that our official designation, dabblers?
I guess that's what Duncan calls us. So I'll be a dabbler. I'm good with that. It sounds very Harry Potter. Tara Talks Books is here. Read by Fred is here. Williams Library. My most common books are airport novels. Everyone's saying hello to each other. Books at Midnight says, I enjoy those raw videos, sitting at the pub and just letting the phone camera while you chat books and life would be really enjoyable. It would be.
I've thought about trying to do one of our Monday night lives at a pub.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Maybe there is a noise problem because a lot of these pubs are rather noisy.
Yeah, you'd have to have one of those, what do they call it? A dead cat, I think. You put it over you have to have like an external microphone and put the dead cat over the microphone, and it kind of focuses in on you instead of the background noise.
That's a possibility, but it'd be fun just to, see people having their beer and their chicken wings or whatever they want to have while you chat.
Yeah. Like you could be at a pub, Alan could be somewhere, I could be like you could have a whole bunch of people just at a pub and we'll be talking to each other.
We should try to organize that, and you have to make sure that when you're also in a pub that you're not recording people who do not want to be filmed.
Oh, correct. Yeah, you need that table in the corner.
Yes.
Read by Fred says happy Saturday. Oh, Fred says, I don't write down my ideas for videos either. Then I forget about them. Yeah. I like lists. I'm a list maker. I can't help it. Let's see. Brian from Bookish was hanging out with us. I don't know if he's still here. Everybody's still saying hello. Alan says he uses my recorder app to record dreams. Whoa, there you go.
There you go.
William says imitation is the greatest form of flattery. Yes, it is. Jess is here. She says hello. Alan says he cherishes his European friends very much. Commenting on Voxer is like ham radio. Okay, Coda, how many books do you have, Greg? How are they organized? We have almost 1,400, and I'd be super surprised if I've read 200 of them, but 100 is too long to wait to spend money, so I'm doing 25. He's doing the 25 book challenge.
Well, you do the challenge that's right for you.
Yeah. So how many books do you have total, and how are they organized?
Okay. I have not counted all my books. No? Somewhere around 2,000.
Okay.
I think. I organize them a little different from most people. When I started in the 80s, early 90s, I worked for this bookstore named Crown Books. They're out of business now. Maybe someone in the comments will remember them, but they organize their books by basically hardcover, trade paperback, and mass market. And I just sort of follow through with that. Like right here is hardcovers. And I do this because when you put all your hardcovers together, they look really nice. If you were to have like Nabokov here, I could theoretically have a mass market paperback or a trade paper, and it just makes the shelf look a little uneven. This way, it looks more uniform and very nice as it is. And hold on, let me just peek over there. You can sort of see the trade paperbacks.
Love it.
And over there are the mass market bag.
I wouldn't leave that room like at all. At all. I would be like, When it comes time for me to die, put me on display in that room. Let people browse the books and like say hey to my body.
Yeah, so like then it's just alphabetical by author.
Okay.
I mix in nonfiction with fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I do separate out the poetry section
Mm-hmm.
just because it's very small and it's just a couple shelves, and that one I mix,
Okay.
but that's basically how they're organized.
Now, do you keep a spreadsheet or anything as to what you have regarding your inventory, regarding your library? So you don't
Somewhat.
buy duplicates?
I use a website called Library Thing.
Okay. I used to have that app. Yeah.
Library Thing is the best app, or not,
Mhm.
or the website out there. The idea is it's for libraries,
Mhm.
and I don't know their business end, but there are professional libraries that use them, and I use it just for my personal, like I said, a personal library. You can basically put anything into your library that you want to.
Mhm.
There are no limits. Um, I so you could have all your audiobooks, all your ebooks, all your physical books. You can even put your music CDs in there, or music if you want to.
Yeah.
I know I used to use Goodreads.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of people who probably still use Goodreads, but Goodreads torqued me off twice.
Okay.
Um, I also like the Great Courses
Mhm.
audios, and I put those in my Goodreads when I listened to this course. Well, it was about 5 years ago, somewhere around there. I found that Goodreads had deleted all my entries.
Wow.
They said those aren't books.
Really? Wow.
So then there's a whole hue and cry. Okay, I guess they can be considered books.
Oh, so now they flip-flopped.
They did, but they
Mm.
didn't put back your entry. You had to go figure out what you had and put it
Oh,
back into your Goodreads.
yeah.
And then a couple years later, I had listened to a couple of audiobooks from Audible, which were Audible originals. These are books that professional authors like Michael Pollan, who writes about food,
Mhm.
and he did an original audiobook.
Mhm.
And I put in Goodreads because I liked it, and I put comments, and they deleted it.
That's terrible.
And they deleted it because it's not a real book. It's just an audiobook.
But an audiobook is a real book.
Well, they eventually backtracked on that and said,
Uh-huh.
okay, we'll allow them. And I could just see this librarian working at Goodreads saying, I don't like books on audio. Delete, delete.
Amazon worker.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I can see him doing it once.
Mhm.
You'll think, you know, do it once, shame on you.
Do it twice. Mhm.
And I said, okay, you've done it to me twice.
Yeah.
And if they could do it to this type of book, they can do it to any type because
Mm.
they have decided that it's okay to delete information from my personal data.
Yeah.
I come from a computer programming background in
Mhm.
mostly databases. And if I were to go and delete someone's data from their data
Mhm.
without basically their explicit permission, you know,
Yeah.
you really that's a bozo no in the
Mhm.
database world. You just don't do that.
Yeah.
Now sometimes, when you transfer data over from different databases, you say, there may be some data loss. You try to prevent as much as possible. That's all fine
Mhm.
because, mistakes happen. But when you go through and say, this is not a book according to our definition,
Yeah.
the thing is, I just don't trust them anymore.
Yeah. I agree. That's very unfortunate on their end. How long ago was that?
That was a few years ago. I was still in Washington when they did the last thing with the deleting the Audible originals.
Okay.
So that was 2021 when
Okay.
we did that. And then at that point, I was double entering anyway.
Mhm.
I basically record when I got books into my library thing. and basically use Goodreads as a reading log.
Okay, yeah.
But Library Thing also has information where you can record the dates that you read the book.
Oh, good.
And I said, I'm just going to use that as my reading log and just say goodbye to Goodreads.
Right.
Now, the thing about the Library Thing, it's not a social site.
Right.
They do have some comments in the background. They do have some groups. So kind of, it does not have that Goodreads feel of like you're a reading community. It is a community of people logging their books for whatever reason they want. And you have a little bit of that community on the side. Right. So if you really want that community and the discussion and the recommendations, Goodreads is still better at that part. But as I said, I just don't trust them anymore.
Yeah, no, that doesn't sit well with me, but unfortunate, really unfortunate. All right, let's see who else has questions in the chat. Okay, so we got Coda's. Jess says, I wouldn't be able to do this challenge. I would fail miserably.
You know something, Jess? Try it.
Yeah, try small. Try small.
Yeah. Try the 25 book challenge. You mean, well, I don't know how fast she reads. You know, for me, I could, if I pushed hard, do 25 books in a month. Yeah. I mean, it'd be a little bit of a push, but I could still do it in a month.
Yeah. I want to enjoy the process, so I'm just taking my time.
Yeah. I mean, pick what is right for you. Do it. I mean, if 25 is too hard, try a 10-book challenge.
Yeah, even 5. Somebody I know, Eliza, I think she has to read 5 before she could buy any. So she has to read 5, then she could buy, then she has to read 5 more. She's doing like a video series like that, which is pretty interesting.
It's good, especially for people like me who have a problem, especially with Kindle sale books. Because the problem is, if you see a book on sale for $1.99,
right?
You said, I don't care if I never get to it. It's just there if I want it someday.
When I see those BookBub emails come through, and I see the freebies, and it's always like a shifter romance or a paranormal romance, I'm like, click buy, just so I have them because they're free.
Yeah, I mean, I don't tend to go for those free books too often, but you know, I used to in the early, because I was an early Kindle. I had the first Kindle in 2008. Yeah. And they had a bunch of those kind of free. They're still there on my account if I ever want to pick them up. But it's a problem because you think it's $1.99 and who cares? But then you look at the end of the month. Okay, I got 15 of those. Right. And every month, that's how I wind up with 2,100 and something books on my Kindle. Right, and it's cheaper than a copy of the Recognitions at the end of the month. It is. So there's your justification. Oh, let's see. Alan says, and who were those books for, Greg? The answer is me. He wants your Audible password. And Alan, keep on dreaming. That's it. Sean D. Steadfast birthday bash at noon, right? Noon or 1. It's one or the other, I think. Alan says, I have a pub I could go live at. Coda says, ooh, virtual pub meetup sounds fun. Christopher Evenstar, virtual chat pub would be interesting. Al says, community is our way forward. Hate leaves no room in your heart for love. That's right, Al. Oh God. Alan says, the spare room where I won $280 playing poker has a restaurant. I could set up my tripod. Storm reads, hey, Storm, how are you? I keep forgetting about the lives on Saturday. No worries. Al says, I'm doing the 500 book challenge this year. I didn't want to say until I did a couple months worth. Wow, Al, that's Al, what are you at? Yeah. Let us know in the comments. Yes. Fred is very amazed by your bookshelves. Duncan McCurdy says, it's great having hardbacks and mass markets together. The mass markets end up getting deformed. Yeah. Everybody's saying hello to Storm. Alan says, Greg and I will try to organize a virtual pub live around the end of May, beginning of June. We're booked till then. Because you guys are popular, man. Oh, see, Alan is the guy, he's the booker. He books everyone.
Yeah.
He finds the people and talks them into it. And
there you go. Let's see. I lost my track. Okay, Gareth is here. Hi, everyone. Just noticed this was on. Al said this month I'm doing 41 courses on Audible. I have done a few already. So one a day plus. Wow, that's awesome. Alan says, I still enjoy Goodreads. Al says, love the great courses. That's what I'm doing for April. They posted 41 courses. I love to expire. Oh, that expire in May. Okay.
Oh, the great courses are, if anyone has not tried the great courses, I can highly, I've been wanting to do a video on them, just recommending them, because it's like you're sitting at a college classroom.
Yeah.
Taking in all this information, and you don't have to take a test.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting? I set my husband's iPad up. I subscribed to the Queen's Library in Queens, New York, and their online library is just fantastic. You have to pay a small fee every year. It goes right into benefiting the library. But one of the things that they have is they have this huge movie database of like 3 different streaming services that you can tap into for free. But they also have the great courses too. And I saw that and I was like, oh, maybe I'll have to dive in there one day. But you should do a video on the great courses.
I think they're one of the greatest things ever. I started out, it was a birthday gift from my wife, somewhere in the 90s. She bought me the cassettes of how to listen to and understand classical music. It was a really good course. Of course, at the time, I could only play it in my car because it was a cassette tape.
Right.
So the only cassette player I had was in my car. So. But I had an hour-long commute each way, so.
Yeah. Audiobooks or things like that are perfect for car rides. Perfect.
And whatever subject you are into, they probably have something on the great courses. And a lot of libraries have them. At least in the audio versions. I'm not sure about the video versions, but I never watched the video versions. I just listened to the audio.
Yeah, I think through the Queen's Library, they may give you both. I'm not sure, but I know definitely the video is there as well. So Gareth says, I like Goodreads, but I haven't had any bad situations with it. Well, that's good, Gareth.
That's good.
Al says, they are actual college courses. Listening to one today that is better than most of the courses I took at universities on the subject. Good. People are saying hello. Al says, audiobooks are the path forward for teaching our kids, in his opinion. Yeah, I agree. Coda says, oh my goodness. I also organize by size-ish, but also genre. I have separate mass market fiction and classic sections, and then one of each for trade and hardback.
I see. Some people like it.
Alan says, hit the like button.
Yes.
Marshall McLuhan called this, in a way, written language used to last the test of time, and geography not so much today. Coda, do you have a channel? No, but he should have a channel. Then the sizes are mixed in with my other sections: children's poetry, drama, screenplay, YA, books on writing, and nonfiction. Al says, I'm so old on the interwebs. I find websites that are not even saved on the Wayback Machine. Lost potential. Let's see, Alan, commenters extraordinaire. Let's see, Gareth says, I started doing Goodreads shortly before starting a BookTube channel, so I see it as a part of my process of making reading into a social thing. Yeah. Al says, I liken it to the J.D. Salinger letters. He asked that all his friends get rid of their letters. That is mourned in literature. Why not the erasure of websites and audio casts? Let's see. Greg, or Coda loves your shelves, Greg. Sprint Crasher Buddy. Yeah, you are Sprint Crasher Buddy Watcher. Al says, LibriVox and Gutenberg were a godsend for me for years. Yes, and I have them both saved as bookmarks on my computer, so I could see them all the time and remind myself to hit those.
LibriVox actually has some very good recordings. Now, some of them are not as good as others.
Right.
But you have some that could potentially be just as professional as anything you get from Audible or paid. They just maybe just need a little bit of fine tuning. with the, the studio you get, but they're well worth it.
Yeah, I agree. Alice says, I'm lucky enough to have access to the sites like Audible and Scribd now, but no Libya's example, not available to all. No, Libby should be available to all, and it's crazy that it's not.
Well, it depends on where he lives.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, when you talk about it, it's like, I used to live in Washington, and I had access to King County Library, which is one of the best library systems in the country. They have not revoked my privileges yet.
Good.
The library system here where I live in Virginia is
fine.
It's okay. It's
fine.
It's just not a priority with people down here to have a good library. But you're talking about this Queen's Library?
Yes.
It's open to everyone?
Open to everyone.
Who wants to pay a little bit of cash?
You go online, you make a $50 donation, you have instant access.
$50. How long is the access for?
1 year.
That's worth it.
That's totally worth it. And you're helping out the library. It's not like they're making a profit, But
do they have a lot of audiobooks and ebooks?
Yes. And you're allowed to take 30 books out at a time.
I'm sorry. I would never do that, but that's insane.
I know, but the thing that kills me is my local library. They use cloud library, which is awful. You can't. The only thing you could do is stream it through to your phone in your car. You can't push anything over to a device or anything like that. You're allowed to take out 3 books at a time. So the difference between my local library and Queens is it's like country living and city living.
Well, I just live in a part of Virginia where I said books are not a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, people do not read where I live. I mean, I shouldn't say that. There are people that read, but we're few and far between for sure. Let's see. Storm says, I am trying to read some of my own books, but I can't stop buying. That's the hard part, Storm.
That's why you have the challenge.
That's right.
Because, as I said, a lot of the books that I would normally buy are books that I may never read.
Yeah.
It's like I was at a Goodwill finding a book for someone, and they had this mass market paper. It was like $1 or something. But I was looking at it. It was some sort of historical epic about China, cheesy mass market paper. It's like, for $1, I would have bought it. But I said, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to break my 100-book challenge. The odds of me ever reading this book are extremely low.
Yeah. What I do is I just, if I see something that I know that I'm going to want to pursue later, I'll save it in a wish list. And that's kind of like my little way of just like, well, I have it saved so I can go back to it and look for it at a later point. Because I can't even go on eBay without trying to look for books and getting that. I want to hunt for a book. I want to see, what's out there. It's too tempting. I can't do it yet.
I looked at eBay and I was saying, oh man, I saw this lot of old pulpy paperbacks, and I'm going, that's
it. It's the big box of lots from like an estate sale that nobody gives a hoot about books, and there are some gems in there and you just want to bid on it. That's my issue. I want a big box. I want a big box of books delivered to my house.
As I said, someday I'll fail on the 500-book challenge, because I'll go to some bookstore and say, look at this old paperback book. It is so, the cover is so inappropriate. I've got to buy it.
What you have to do is go to the store and talk to the manager or somebody and say, listen, I'm going to take a little video clip of just me on the floor surrounded by all these books. I have a channel. You're going to have to check it out. I told myself, my friend sent me a link. I don't know if this is true or not, but there's some town in upstate New York, just over the border of Pennsylvania, where it's like that English bookie town. Like there's a bookstore on every single corner, and it's just supposed to be fabulous. And my best friend is like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, I'm doing it as soon as I finish this challenge. We're going to get in the car and go. So I don't know, but that's where I'm going to go when I finish this challenge. Take y'all on a road trip.
What part of New York is it in?
It's upstate, so it's right. It's probably somewhere near Vestal or Binghamton or something like that. I'm not sure, but it's supposed to be like a book village. I'm all for it.
You see, I've been to upstate New York. I've driven there. It's like an 8-hour drive from So it'd be a long haul to get up there.
Yeah. But if you knew you were going to a book village to spend money on books, might be worth it.
It might be worth it.
Oh, let's see. Al says, I do not know. I do a minimum of 1 book a day, sometimes 2 for last 4 or 5 months. That's really good, Al. Jeez.
You're a Steve Donahue wannabe.
Yeah. About ready to do a deep dive reread into Salinger's work, letters, etc., etc. Al says, I will go through them this weekend now that I know I can do it. I'm about 150 for this year alone. Good for you.
Wow.
That's wonderful.
He is like another Steve Donahue.
Yeah. He's like the opposite Steve Donahue. Listening to comparative religion on the Great Course as we chat's fantastic. Also teaches logic and reason.
I like that one on comparative religion.
Yeah.
I listened to that Great Courses one.
Al says the course on Nietzsche is one of the best bar none, and I have done most of them. Misspent youth. Alan says the Great Course rock. I've done a couple on Joyce, the Dante Commedia, Milton's Paradise, and Shakespeare's tragedies, etc. Al says it is also on YouTube, Alan. Al says 2 Nietzsche scholars married. Has anyone used the story graph? I have it, but I'm not good at updating it. I told myself once a quarter, I'm going to import all my stuff from Goodreads over to Storygraph because it's just, I can't go to Goodreads and then go over to Storygraph and, enter all my stuff. I wish they would marry the 2 sites.
I used Storygraph for about a year last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing double entry with library thing and Storygraph.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
The problem is Storygraph, I had to make some exceptions.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I can't differentiate between ebook and regular book.
Mm-hmm.
Because they don't have a lot of ebooks on Storygraph. Yeah. So I started going through early, I said, well, I got to enter in the information for the ebook. And then I said, I'm just going to say, if I read the book, it doesn't matter if it's ebook or paperback.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to keep it up for audiobooks. I said, it's just extra work for me, and I don't get a whole lot of value out of Storygraph.
Yeah, I like the data output. That's it, to be honest with you. That's all I like. I wish Goodreads would have that, but Storygraph probably has it patented. Let's see. Al says some on LibriVox are now being put on Scribd because they are so good. Brian says LibriVox is the best way I found to catch up on classics. Greg is right. Some LibriVox recordings are very professional. Everybody's talking about Libby. Al, I read so much. I must use every avenue. I wish it was not all paywalled. Yeah. Christopher Evenstar says, I love it when your voice gets creepy, Greg. Have you read aloud any short stories? Have you ever done any narration?
No. I used to do Poetry Thursday, and some people said I was doing very good readings, but,
You should bring it back.
Maybe.
Bring it back. Why not?
For 10 people, maybe.
Yeah. Al says cutbacks up here are no more apps. Audible used to be included up here. Wow. Alan says, know how I support my local library by losing on the video. They have video poker machines at your library? Don't tell me that.
It's Portland.
Do they have that? Is that a thing?
I don't know, but it's Portland. They have everything in Portland.
Yes. Oh my gosh. They still have Voodoo Donuts out in Portland. Is that where they were from? I don't know. Al says Library Genesis is a must, especially for research papers and the like. Alan says I was on eBay looking at Spider-Man and Batman bundles. Cool. But I decided to hit my local comic book stores. Al, that is my story as a young reader. I had a local used shop, huge, so I bought the discount books, Thomas Macaulay, Conrad, Nietzsche, cheap because no one wanted them. Yeah, really? I think that's it, Jess. MJ, is it the Hobart Book Village? I think that's it. That kind of rings a bell. I think I think that's the place. Because Jess is in New York. I think she's over in Long Island or something. That book village sounds awesome. There's a book farm I need to get to soon in the UK. There's that place that you keep talking about, Greg.
Hay on Way. I think.
Yes, and another booktuber was there last week or 2 weeks ago, and she said in May they do a yearly festival. So I'm putting it in my calendar for next May. I said I need to go visit this place. Let's see. Yeah, not as mean. Also a great Joycean indeed. Amanda Brown. Hello, Amanda Brown. I am actually messing with Storygraph today to see if I like it. Mostly a Goodreads library thing, girl. Yeah. I just love the output. I love the output on it. Amanda says, love LibriVox. I use books differently. I use ebooks or paper books as meditation. You only do that. Audiobooks are active imagination like Hemingway and Jung. Dystopian libraries. Alan says, let's bring back Poetry Thursday, Greg. Greg, me, and Aaron Facer, LMAO. Yeah. Steve Donahue used to throw his hat in the ring, didn't he, once in a while? Christopher Evenstar says, ugh, Voodoo Donuts is kind of gross. They were cool like 10 years ago, weren't they? Coda says, poetry. Al says, it's a hard balance. You want to be short, but you need context in the comments. Yes, agreed. So does anybody have any other BookTube questions or any other questions in general for Greg? I think we went through all the comments. This has been fun.
I like these. These are good.
It's nice, isn't it?
It is.
So what's your weather like where you are? We're in that storm. Did you get hit with any of those massive things that were coming across the country?
We have a little bit of rain. Not a hard rain, just sort of a light rain, and it's cloudy and gray. And my sun porch is going to be cold.
Oh, you don't have a heating source in there?
No, but the thing is, because it is fully facing south, if it is like 40 degrees outside, it will heat up to the 60s.
Nice.
In there, just because we have these vinyl windows, it just heats up wonderfully.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about spring, when your car is outside and you get into your car and it's just like you get a big hug from the sun. Perfect. Let's see. It's a hard balance. You want to be short, but you need the context in the comments. Oh, that was regarding poetry. Voodoo Donuts is the shite. Jess says, I filmed one of my videos at the Hobart Book Village last year for my birthday. Awesome, Jess. I'm going to have to check it out.
Oh, I have to find that one.
Yeah. Garrett says, it is awesome to see these chats with you, MJ. Well, it's good that you're here. Amanda says, I'm late to this, so maybe this was answered. How much time do you devote to being a booktuber to create content?
That really depends. I try to do 3 videos a week, somewhere at least. I always have my reading wrap up. Usually try to do a tag and something else.
Yeah. It's funny, April 1st last year, I made myself a promise. I said, you are going to upload videos every single Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. And I've done it. I've done it for a year. And then I threw in the extra Saturdays, and the other videos are just like icing on the cake. But I will always put up a Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday video. That's my schedule. And it's worked out well. You know, it's nice having that platform of knowing what you're doing.
It is like I said, I usually try to, I change the days. Like I've switched like the wrap ups to Wednesday, just so it gives me a couple of days to make the video. So I don't have to do it like on a Sunday afternoon and upload it Monday morning. But yeah, I agree with schedules. I mean, now we have the live Monday.
Yes.
So that's sort of like a video every.
Absolutely.
And I have my tag. I have a tag I need to do for Tuesday.
Yeah.
Then I wrap up Wednesday. And I used to do Poetry Thursday, but that's sort of fallen on the wayside.
Yeah, you should redo it. One of the things that I started doing with these lives is repurposing the live to a long form video content, because a lot of people, either they didn't get notified of it or they missed it. And the response is really, really good. So I recommend that you guys do the same for people that miss out on your lives that want to watch it. And all you have to do is just download it and re-upload it. That's it.
Do you do any editing or just?
I took out some of like the glitchy things, like if there were things in the beginning that were kind of, glitchy, and then I kept it really to like the Q&A section and the Q&A section from the audience. So probably like, I don't know, it took me like 5 minutes, 10 minutes to edit. And then I put like an intro in the beginning and an outro, and that's it.
Yeah. The problem is when Al and I talk, we sometimes have no restraint.
I know.
And we just go on for way too long.
But if there's any classic episodes that you want to do that to, I recommend trying it out. It's been
maybe
really good.
We should do a best of and go through and
yes. Do like a quarterly best of, because all of the quarter year tags are coming out this week. It's already the first quarter's over.
Yeah, maybe should do that.
All right, everybody's got rain. Rain and overcast. It's supposed to be 70 degrees here today. Yesterday morning, literally, it was like 28 degrees. It's crazy. Thanks, Alan. Let's see. Meaning and creativity. I need to make a weekly schedule, then stick to it. Start today. It's the first day of the month. Start today and just do it. Gareth says, I worry about putting too much up, but I do it anyway. I couldn't do specific days because it would stress me out, but I put up at least 3 a week at the moment. You could totally lock into a day. Locking into a day gives me a source of comfort because I know I don't have to think about it. I know what I have to do. That's just me.
Yeah, but I also worry about putting up too much content. Like, saying, if you're watching me, you're not watching someone else, and let other people have the room to put up their videos. So I get very sort of worried, like I'm putting out too much or making my videos too long or whatever.
But you have to think about how many viewers there are on the YouTube platform. There's I don't even know how. I think there's over 1 billion accounts or something.
It can't be 1 billion.
I don't know. It's I mean, worldwide. It's a lot. It's a lot. And the amount of views that people get, and the amount of the algorithm just keeps us into like one little section, and how much bigger our platform is, like that we haven't even tapped in. I mean, there's channels that have probably been out for 5-10 years that we have no clue about because we haven't had that interaction with them yet. It's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, unless you do searches or if they don't, because some channels don't put a lot of information in their video descriptions or tag. I don't. I could probably do better, but
yeah, your about section is huge, 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 huge. Faulkner Friday. That's right, Faulkner Friday. You need to do those Faulkner Fridays.
Well, Alan's. I sent him a book of Faulkner short stories because he didn't have it, so he can now. We have a tentative plan to do a Faulkner story once a month, I think.
That's cool.
Tentative, we'll see.
Yeah. Brian said he got to go walk the grand dog. Would a Nietzsche Sunday be heresy? Asking for a friend. I mean, Jung would also do. I'd say go for a philosophy Sunday. Why not?
Why not?
Why not? Nietzsche Sunday. You gotta say it right though. It's not Nietzsche Sunday. Great ideas later, Brian. Garrett says, even my new feature, Tuesday Tune, often goes up on a Wednesday, LOL. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Well, see, Gareth, here's the clue. You record your Tuesday tunes on a Thursday. And you can record more than one in a day, and you just line them up for the month.
Yeah.
That's how I used to do Poetry Thursday. I spent one evening, usually got something, an adult beverage, had a little bit and read about 5 poems and just queued them up.
There you go. Yeah, just batch film. Al says, here's a question. 1 super long video of book reviews or a dozen short ones, or both or neither? I think viewers enjoy standalone book reviews. I think they also enjoy wrap-ups with multiple reviews. So I would do a combination of both to test the water. That's my opinion. How about you, Greg?
I have noticed that single book reviews don't always do as well. I always thought that you were interesting because you could focus on, well, this is a book I want to read. Or maybe you look at it and say, that's a book I don't care about. Yeah. Because I was doing my final 10 countdown, and one of the videos was a biography of an American president. Lowest views of all the videos. So I guess I'm getting the clue that viewers don't care about American presidential biographies too much. Yeah.
But I mean, if somebody may, you just don't know.
Maybe the 94 that watched it are really interested in that.
Yeah. Part. You won't know until you try, and then just leave it up. That's all.
Yep.
Garrett says, and that takes me a couple minutes to do. Erie says 122 million users per day. Okay. So 122 million users. And we're not even tapped into like 5% of that. Nietzsche Sunday, I'm there. Let's see. Greg, they're just community posts. I have them batch filmed to death, LOL. I have videos scheduled for 2025.
Gareth, that's amazing.
That's crazy. My gosh. Now, what happens if like something comes up and there's a new event or something goes on, and what happens to all those other videos? You take them down? That would like, my whole schedule would blow up.
That's amazing, though. But
that is amazing. That's really amazing. Good old gold advice as always. This YouTube stuff still baffles me, but through a glass darkly. Yeah. I can get paid to dig Nietzsche Sunday for sure. Yeah, it was nice seeing Pay this week. I saw his video. I have Savvyism course on Sundays. Could do after 12 EST or later. Oh, they're talking Nietzsche Sundays. Okay. Nice. Awesome.
Are they talking about doing live Nietzsche Sundays? I don't know.
I don't know. Some kind of Nietzsche Sunday. Philosophy Sundays. That'd be fun to do like a round table of that. I was thinking about maybe doing like a Scribe Tribe live.
Okay.
What do you think about something like that? Just to talk about our experience, our issues, you know, what we like, what we don't like. Yes, I have mine here too.
Yeah.
I started reading Transmuted this morning. But yeah, I thought that would be fun because I don't think anybody's done that yet.
I've had just about a month now, I think. Mm-hmm. And I'm due to record my opinions of it. Mm-hmm. And I have to say that this is by far becoming my preferred method to read things on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had a paperback book I was reading, and I was getting my reading glasses and going, mm-hmm. Let me check out the library. Ooh, mm-hmm. I can just read the ebook on this.
Yeah. And that's the great thing about having multiple Libby libraries is that there's more options to push it over to your e-devices.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check out the Queen's Library.
Queen's Library is fantastic. Brooklyn used to be really, really good. And then Brooklyn said, we're not doing out of state. You have to send them a copy of your driver's license and all this stuff. And basically they shut it down. They said, we're saving our resources for Brooklynites. And I said, well, I'm taking my business to Queens. And it was such a good decision on my part. And I will shout their library.
Because Queens has a pretty good selection.
Huge. And very unique books that you won't be able to find at other libraries. Very diverse, unique, eclectic. They have all of the massive popular ones, but then those like Richard Brodigan I got into by watching Idjit. They have a slew of them, and I was like, perfect. Queen. It was a chef's kiss moment. Al Ohm, I'm in for Scribd. I'm a power user. Good. Gareth says, it's the 100 album challenge. I filmed them all and scheduled them with gaps. I have rescheduled videos like mad. Still got some filmed last summer that are going up in June. Oh, boy. Coda says, from a viewer's perspective, I think both review styles are fun, especially when the collections are themed. However, I think there's a limit for me on video length. Yeah, people have limits.
They do. I mean, I like most of them to be about 15 minutes or less.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some people do reviews that are like 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. And I'm going, I'm sorry. Even on double speed, that's.
Yeah. See, I can't do double speed. Oof, no.
Double speed's hard.
I know. I just can't do it. I don't want to listen. I don't want to listen to other people, and I don't want to listen to myself. IMA finally get Dracula and War and Peace and some Agatha Christie for my Kindle Fire today. Good,
Alan.
Yeah. William says, I think I'll do a week-long reading event on the last full week of November. Good. Alice says, Scribe, not Scribd. Lock that in. Gotcha. Coda says, I'm much more likely to watch videos that are 15 minutes or less. The 6 to 8 minute range for me is perfect, but there are exceptions. Gareth says, yeah, I love single book reviews, but I agree. 45 minutes is a lot. Yeah, I don't think I've done 40. I think when I did the video on Crash, that was like 22 minutes, but I had a lot to say about that book.
It's mostly some of the really professional ones who are really doing a deep dive review of the book like you were in a lecture hall and saying, this is what you get in this book.
Right.
Which I guess if you were a student in university and not wanting to read the book, you watch all those videos. It's like, I can pretend I read this. Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. Garrett says, I might do a video on rescheduling and schedule it for 2028. Oh my gosh. Agnes says, do the Scribe Tribe. We should do the Scribe Tribe. We got a lot of viewers on it, I think.
And we were going to do you were talking about doing an event.
Which one?
For the e-readers on Discord.
Oh, that would be kind of fun, where you just take a month, and no matter what other BookTube event you're participating in, you have to read it. You have to read from your whatever you have on your Kindle.
I was thinking, some other channel had this bingo challenge.
Mm-hmm.
To read books. I said you could get a bingo card for Kindle.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you could make it broad enough that you could include all the other events for that month.
Right.
So whatever event you're reading, you just read it on Kindle and check it off on your bingo card. And
bingo card's a little much for me.
Yeah.
I can do that. I would just leave it open and say, it's one of those what lurks on my Kindle reading month. But I would do the totally random thing and just close my eyes and pick something and be like, oh, stuck reading that. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Where everybody would have to scroll through their Kindle library blind and then land on something and then show it. And that's what you commit to reading, no matter what. Even if
I was doing that, and because you can download your whole library to like your if you have like a Windows, your old Kindle library, and then I could write a program that goes through all the files and randomly picks one.
There you go. Yeah, that'd be fun. See, Al says, good point. Even lectures are only an hour. Oh, talking about video length. Alan says, I review vids under 5 minutes. As a rule, I attempt to keep all vids around 10 minutes. Can we do a Scribe Tribe also? Sure. Why not? Some booktubers are more academic than others with their reviews. Some of those deep dives are the longer ones. Yeah. William says, audience retention rate is pathetically low at 15 seconds. Yeah. You really need to get people hooked. Another thing I love about MJ's lives, ideas abound. And sometimes it gets me in trouble because I'm one of those people that when I have an idea, it comes out, and sometimes it'll manifest and then I'm committed to doing something. Like the Agatha weekend, that came out of one of these sessions.
Yeah, but I have an Agatha book queued up.
Yeah, I'm going to read the And Then There Were None. Everybody keeps telling me to read that one. And then the movie is on Amazon, so I think I'm going to watch the movie as well.
I have Death on the Nile.
Nice.
It's one of my free books that I got.
Cool.
I'm just worried that they've edited it.
Oh, let's not go there.
Let's not go there.
That's a whole other conversation. Yeah. William says, I can't even hold full attention for a short 30 seconds. Al says, I've been experimenting with shorter stuffs on the podcast side. People want something they feel they can manage, in my honest opinion. Al, do you do there's a podcast feature in YouTube now, right? Do you do your videos and turn them into podcasts? Let me know. I'd be interested to find out. Coda says, I think it would be interesting to see someone try releasing 2 reviews per book, one for people who've read it and one for people who haven't. In depth for the first, for 2 short and introductory. I did that with The Little Life. I did like a spoiler free, and then I got deep into the spoilers. My earlier videos, I did a lot of that because I didn't want to lose anyone that was viewing. I didn't want to spoil anything for anyone. So I would be like, okay, this is where you have to shut the video off because now we're going to talk about all the nitty gritty that happened in the book. They did okay, but they turned out to be longer for sure. Let's see. Garrett says, I know from my 100 album challenge that it is impossible to say something genuinely useful in 60 seconds. Gareth, you do just fine. MJ, Agatha Weekend was from your lives. I'm going to read Death on the Nile and those 2 others. Cool. Courtney's here. Hey, Courtney, what's going on? Al says, not on YouTube. No, use another app for some podcasts, but you can use YouTube for your podcasts. Don't do double work. I'm telling you, Google it. It's a feature that came out not too long ago, but you can turn your video into a podcast. Yes, you can. Everybody's saying hello to Courtney. Coda says, I still say it's a good idea. I rarely watch in-depth videos or reviews before I've read the book, but I'll go back and look for it after if I know it's there. Yeah, I do the same thing. Like, I don't want to spoil it for myself. Alice says, thank you. I will look into it. Gold info as always. You know, that's what we try to do here. Courtney says, hi, Alan. I'm finally up. Need workout. Awesome. All right. So what you got planned for the rest of the day, Greg? Are you reading?
I'm planning to do some reading, and then I have my live Gaddis event.
Yes. That's what, tonight at 8?
Night at 8.
All right. I'll pop in and say hey. I'm probably not, I don't know what I'm going to follow through with the conversation, but I'll say hey. Maybe I'll get turned on to Gaddis. Who knows?
But that's all I got today. Okay,
cool. I'm just going to do some stuff around the house, and I'm probably going to finish the Transmuted book. It's short, so then I'll feel very accomplished today with the first of the month and having one book read. That'll be like a gold star in my cap today. Everybody's saying hello to Courtney. Wonderful. Does anybody else have any more questions for Greg or myself? Anything about BookTube? If not, we'll close it up. We're rolling in on an hour and a half. Gareth is going to be filming a reaction video to Bookish Tonight. Should appear this month. Cool. Okay. This month, you should appear now. Strike while the fire is hot. Yeah, don't wait a month. People forget what you're all talking about. Hi, Jess. Oh, swimming pool would be lovely. Jacuzzi even better. Yeah, definitely. Oh, well, this has been great, Greg.
Oh, I enjoyed this. Thanks for having me.
Oh, no. Alan's doing housework. Got a new Swifter sweep mop to play with. Well, I'm sure you'll do just fine with your spring cleaning, Alan. All right, everyone. Al says thanks. And then there was none is great. That's what I keep hearing. Everyone is telling me to read it, so that's the one I'm going to pick. Greg, what has been the highlight of your BookTube experience besides today? That's from Courtney.
I think the highlights are completing my 2 100 book challenges.
Yeah, that's massive. That's really, really good.
And it's I mean, I not to brag, but I've been the first across the finish line twice.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I think it's only because Ollie is distracted by other things that he doesn't pull ahead.
Yeah.
Because he is like right behind me, and he has a family, and he has a job, and he has you know.
Yeah, we know. Did you see his TBR for April? I don't know how many books are. I stopped counting.
I did 20 for what month did we just finish? March.
I know. I feel like I'm slipping into May already, and I'm not. Okay. Garrett says, haha, that's the problem with rescheduling. Got about 8 videos up for April already. Yeah. Coda says, been fun hanging out. Thanks for hanging out, Coda. Alan is reading the same one, and then there were none. Everybody's saying, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Yeah. Greg, keep it up, she says. Alan says, I could do the 50 challenge, but I ain't gonna. Courtney wants to know, is that your library at home behind you, Greg?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's lovely. I would love to visit one day and just have a cup of tea and soak it all in.
Well, if you're ever driving through Virginia.
There you go. I'll hook you. I'll let you know. All right, everyone. Well, I guess we're gonna say goodbye. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. We're probably going to be back here doing another live. I have Courtney coming in.
Oh boy.
He's coming in on, I think it's the 15th. The next time we're going to be doing this. So yeah, so that'll be the next Support Small BookTube interview and question session. Oh, let's see. See you at Sean's birthday bash. Yeah, cheers, everyone. Everyone's saying goodbye. Sorry, I'm so late. I'm a slacker. Christopher says hello. Gareth says, you two have a great day, everyone. Have a great weekend. This community rocks. It really, really does.
It does.
Yeah, so I will see everybody here back in 2 weeks, and I will see you guys at your live tonight and around the BookTubes.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Make sure you're taking care of yourself so you can take care of others. And I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.
Bye.